All right. Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League match in week 2 of season 2. This match between Lumaga and Teknolink, representing teams Grouchy Old Men and Will Pulphead for Food, respectively. My name is Tyler Saltz, and I am here with Nilson Alex.
I'm doing good, Tyler. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. We should be in for a good race here today. We have two very top-notch runners in Lumaga and Teknolink for this Ambrosia seed. And we are off. Ambrosia starts in in a standard opening. See, the uncle tells you the location of the boots, or more or less, tells you in the light world, and we're going through the standard opening like in the vanilla.
Yeah, that's the good part with Ambrosia. I feel like since you start with a weapon, and of course there's always a guaranteed item on the boss in the dungeon.
That is the other part of Ambrosia. We'll see, and also that they are guaranteed a sword at the start. Sword doesn't work until you talk to the uncle here, but they will have.
We do have bombs from the uncle, so we're not going to farm bombs.
Always nice in that standard opening. You'd like to have those bombs in hand to get into the 3 chests in the back of the escape sequence. Right out of the bat, some blue mail as well.
Blue mail is going to make this a little bit safer. You can take a little bit more hits than you normally can in green mail.
Don't think that we're going to get any bombs from those green guards here. One more kill to make sure.
Even if we don't get any bombs here, it should be pretty alright with 3 bombs going to the backside, and we will have 2 bombs for Kakarika later on.
So if you're not familiar with the Link to the Past Randomizer League, first, welcome aboard. This is Season 2 of the league. We have 64 teams in 8 divisions. This match taking place in the Lost Woods division. Each team will race another team in their division. 2 members of each 3-person team will race in a given week. The winner of each race gets 3 points for their team. A tie, which is within 2 seconds on official SRL time, is worth 1 point. A loss is worth 0 points. As you can see, Will Pulphead for Food has 3 points so far. That means they are 1 and 2. I think this is the second race between these 2 teams this week. There's some more bombs over on the Lumaga side. Grouchy Old Men has 4 points, which means they have 1 win and 1 tie. The top 3 teams from each division will make the playoffs at the end of 7 weeks, and the top team in each division will get a bye into the second round of the playoffs. This has been a lot of fun to watch here over the first 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll have yet another excellent race here today.
We've got 2 interesting opponents here, Teknolink and Lumaga. Both are very good, so it should be pretty good. Oh, you're having a hammer in the maiden in Cella's chest.
Ooh, nice to find that early on, like that.
It's a good weapon to use as well, and just that we're like 2 items away from hitting Dark Roll as well.
That's very nice. Yeah, I think that's the only tie that I've seen in the league so far. Lumaga had the tie with Barante last week. We've had some close races, but that is the closest one for sure.
Yeah, I actually missed the race that was a tie, so I just saw the result and I was like, ooh, we got a tie in the league. That's pretty hype. You don't really see a lot of ties in Rando that often.
Now, 2 seconds is a really is a small window for. Perfect, very good. Nice little 8 bomb drop there for Teknolink.
Teknolink is pretty much set. He will not need to buy any bombs at all. So that is very good for Teknolink.
All right, we're headed down into the Dark Cross chest, just a piece of heart in that here today, as we head through the end of the escape sequence. Both of them making pretty good time through here, I would say. Right around 6 minutes, I would say, is the goal time in Randomizer without any of the text boxes that you see in the vanilla game.
Always having a sub 6 is always nice. A little bit harder when you go and check out the back, when you're checking out the 3 chests, but they will have a pretty good time here.
Here we go, back to escape. We have a piece of heart, another piece of heart, and a third piece of heart. Well,
Wow.
Good, I guess. Gives them another heart container at least. But we're really hoping for something actual.
So if I remember this correctly, there should be a map in Sanctuary. It's just...
Yeah, we'll see if either of them checks that there.
Teknolink is actually farming some rupees here.
Oh, Lumaga lost count. He's going to open up that map chest.
Well, map check here. So we have 3 crystals in the light world, just regular crystals.
Oh, it's nice to see those 3 crystals, I suppose, in the light world. Although it does give the possibility of some rude pendant dungeons in the dark world. At least you know that these 3 crystals will be relatively quick to acquire. So we see Lumaga heading up, I think, to at least check this tree pole. Just single rupees, not great. We'll see if it looks like Lumaga is headed up to get this bush crab and lumberjack as well. Parts out of the bush crab.
Only 3 bombs on the ledge there, so we're not going to do Agnium just for 3 bombs.
Certainly not. All right, Lumaga headed into Lost Woods here. Teknolink will be following suit, so we'll see pretty much the same thing from each of these runners here coming out of the escape sequence. In standard mode, Lumaga's going to grab those bombs. Imagine Teknolink won't. In a standard mode like this, where you do the escape sequence, this is pretty much how you're going to go. You're going to come out of Sanctuary and head into Kakariko Village. 10 arrows there in the Lost Woods drop down. In open mode, you see a little bit more variation right out of the bat, but with the bombs, you're going to head right to Kakariko Village every time.
Oh yeah, most there's no point in just skipping if you already have the bombs. There's so many checks in Kakariko, so sooner or later you will end up there, no matter what. So Lumaga first into the Blind's hideout here, so there's 5 items. Let's see if we can find any good items here. Starting up with a piece of art, 300 rupees, 20 rupees, and we had another 20 rupee.
So not much out of Blind's heart so far.
To have another piece of heart, so we're not lacking health here.
plenty more checks to make in Kakariko Village, however, as we head into the well. We'll see what awaits us down here. Looking for some progression 10 arrows out of the chest. In the back, a piece of heart.
But we do have a Moon Pearl here.
Ah, there we go. Yep, Moon Pearl is good. So 2/3 of the way now to our Dark World access. Still looking for that glove.
And the Battle Merchant, only big 20 here, so nothing important.
It's a good deal. Pay me 100 rupees and I'll give you 20 rupees. Great business model.
Chicken Hut, another piece of heart.
Very healthy seed so far. Without a bottle, this back of the tavern is our last check in Kakariko proper. At least got 20 rupees. Lumaga will head down, check the library shelf, and check the race game, and then we'll see where they head up.
Gotta say that was one of the... It was not Stackariko today.
Certainly not. Jackarico, I would say. There's Jack in there. Just the Moon Pearl out of Kakariko so far. Big 20 on the library shelf. See our runners headed over towards the race game. Check that prize. Lumaga will check for first. Teknolink is going to blind do it. It's not going to work out. Just a piece of heart as Lumaga saves in.
We've got a few options here where we want to go, but not a lot of progression here in the beginning.
No, I think South Shore is the play at this point. If I didn't have this many rupees, I might consider heading over and checking Sahasrara first, kind of planning for an eventual fake flipper up to Zora, and 500 rupees for that. But, you know, this is still the highest density area that we've got available.
That is true. Let's see. Hopefully we get something here because, I mean, we do need some progression, right?
We will need something, that is for sure.
Just getting a lot of piece of hearts here in the beginning, so it's like we're finding them, but we need something else. Please, game. So 5 items coming up here in Mini Ballroom Cave. Hopefully we got maybe a bow or to open up a little bit more. Let's see what Mini Ballroom Cave got here. We're starting off with 20 rupees. Fire Rod, piece of heart, a shield, and 3 bombs.
Well, that fire rod is something. Do a fire source.
I like the Teknolink's routing decision here, going to Agina here in the beginning.
Oh. I like the gamble. It's a bold plan. Well, it does give him Zora money, at least.
That's pretty good. Going to be interesting to see if Teknolink actually goes for that fake flippering.
Yeah, you've got the Moon Pearl, you got the money. You know, it's pretty good time to get it done.
Gonna check here on Ice Rod Cave, and we're getting a Master Sword.
Ooh, nice to have. Keep an eye out for that lamp. These ambrosia seeds, you know, since they start you with one of the swords right away, and what we've seen so far this week, at least anecdotally, is that they seem a lot more likely to require us to go through Aghanim than one of the regular seeds here that I've seen.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Aghanim seeds this week for the league, so you do have a valid point there. I think it's mostly because you start off with that first sword.
Yeah, just one fewer thing that you need in order to put Aghanim in Logic. Like Lumaga is definitely fake flippering. I can tell because he's doing it right now. And he does not have the money, so he's going to be hoping to find about 100 rupees or so before he gets up to Zora's Domain to be able to pay off the big fish.
Hopefully our good old friend under the bridge here got some rupees for Lumaga.
You know, if he's got rupees, maybe he could afford like a hotel room or something. I don't know.
Happy camper. But we got an ether medallion on Lumaga's side.
And Lumaga looks like is going to head up to Zora's Domain, kick out those Waterfall Fairy chests, which he can do since he has the Moon Pearl. And at the very least, Zora Ledge. Let's see if he manages to get the money. And we'll see if he doesn't get the money, whether that will hurt him, because we'll see Teknolink head over there and definitely be able to check Zora with his 500 rupees. Nice hesitation there by Lumaga to get the little Zora guy to shoot the fireball away from him. We got the red boomerang, the OK boomerang, up there on the island. 20 rupees, getting closer. Another 20 rupees. About 48 rupees short there
He's
for
so close.
Lumaga.
He's so close, but still so far away.
Yeah, needs the Zora Ledge to get be 50 rupees, and then needs to make a big long walk around, which isn't.
Yeah, there's our first bottle at least, so let's see if that one comes in play later on.
Now, do we think that Teknolink will run over there and get it? Well, actually, you know what? I don't think that he can. He didn't have the boots, so he didn't store up a water walk, and does not have the items to pull off a splash delete glitch to get another fake flipper over there. So that bottle will be inaccessible for Teknolink.
Unless we have vanilla flippers here on good old Zora.
Good call. We might get that. Or a bottle with a fairy. That would work too.
Let's see, we've got a Sarajala check here as well, so getting a lot of stuff. Oh, there's Tempered Sword on King Zora.
Oh, that's nice to find. Very good. Green Pendant Misery Mire. Get that from Saha. Saha in his closet has the Book of Medora, piece of heart, and another piece of heart.
Alright, so this is starting to open up a little bit. The book opens up Desert Palace, but we don't have the glove or the boots, so we don't know if we can actually clear it out.
Yeah, it looks like Lumaga is headed over and is going to dip into Eastern Palace without the bow.
Without the bow, well, Lumaga will at least get 2 items from this dungeon.
Yeah, these dips are a bit of a different calculation here in Ambrosia, because you know if you can't finish the dungeon, you know for a fact that you will not be able to get all the items out of it, which makes these dips a little bit riskier, but still very much could pay.
Oh, definitely, and since we don't really have that much that opens up the seed right now, we did get the book. I feel like this is probably a great call to do.
Especially finding that early big key.
Looks like Teknolink just picking up that book wants to go to Desert Palace first. This could be interesting to see what Lumaga finds here in Eastern Palace.
10 arrows for the first item, not great.
Yeah, that's not something interesting.
No, that's only this first item. The first chest was the big key.
Desert alert check here, 3 bombs, so nothing. Ooh. But Lumaga picks up the glove here in Eastern Palace.
Ooh, there he is. Some value. That dip, the right play for sure. Lumaga picks up the power. Yeah, but Math Girl, would you say that if he hadn't found anything?
And Teknolink learns pretty fast that this dungeon is boots locked.
You see Lumaga, I was confused about where he was headed. He is jumping right into the dark world with his newly found glove. Teknolink, frustrated about that dip into desert, gives him some rage slashes. And it looks like he is heading right over to follow in Lumaga's footsteps in that eastern dip. Like Math Girl said.
Alright, so map check here, we got the green pendant Mystery Mire, like you said earlier, we got a red pendant Ice Palace and a blue pendant in Thieves Town.
Plus those red 5-6 crystals on Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock.
Really interesting pendant location, and also the Pyramid Fairy locations. Feels like there's potential here for some evil stuff, but at the same time, we never know.
Yeah, Lumaga has everything that he needs to complete Skull Woods. He's going to do a couple checks around here in Village of Outcasts. I don't mind that at all. You know, especially on 6 hearts, Mothula can be a little mean, you know, so I don't hate this. We don't know where the boots are, but they are in the light world somewhere.
Light world could be a lot of different locations. I don't believe the mountain counts as light world. Quote me if I'm wrong.
No, I believe that if it's up on the mountain, it'll say on Death Mountain.
Ooh, Titansmiths inside Thieves Town.
Some French vanilla Titansmiths there in Thieves Town. Everything's coming up Lumaga so far in this.
Those myths opens up a few more locations here, so definitely worth going into Thieves Town early.
Teknolink did that room a little bit backwards. It took a second to realize what he did. Finds the glove there. He'll save and quit out. We'll see where he heads next. Lumaga finds the big key in the 3rd chest in Thieves Town. That 4th chest is the compass.
Looks like Lumaga is done with Thieves Town now, so we will skip out on the rest of the 3 other items.
That's interesting. You know, it is a pendant, but all 3 of those items in the back are achievable. They are gettable because he has the hammer. So very interesting.
I could definitely come back and hunt him, but we will wait and see because there's a lot of checks still open for us.
Yeah, just like Math Girl is a firm believer in early Eastern, I'm a pretty firm believer of doing the back of Thieves Town. Frankly, I know it's pretty easy to get back there, but you know, if you can full clear it, I say go ahead and do it. Lumaga is not tempted by early Skullwoods and is headed to the race game. Ooh, Teknolink finds the lamp there in
And the
Hype Cave.
mirror.
And the mirror.
I mean, that's a solid 8 out of 10 here, I would say.
Yeah, no, like for the lamp in the mirror, that makes things significantly smoother. You know, it doesn't open up a ton. The lamp not strictly necessary for runners of this caliber, but really great peace of mind. I'm going a full 7 or 8 out of 10, especially because we know that mirror is hard required because of Swamp Palace.
Teknolink is going to make use of that mirror very quickly here, going to go to that Bombus tablet.
I like this play. This is a really easy one to orphan. Not so bad when you know you have to go do if you have to go do Swamp Palace anyway. But get this out of the way. You've got the book early. It's pointing here. Not a bad.
Let's see what Bombus tablet got for us. And this 10 arrows, so Bombus tablet is just a bust.
Looked like Lumaga was going to rescue the smith, but now is doing hammer pegs without the smith in tow, and I'm not really sure what happened there.
Yeah, at the same time, Teknolink was like deciding to, do I go back to my portal or do I save and quit, and decide to, it's just better to save and quit.
With that lamp and the mirror, I imagine Teknolink is headed up Death Mountain.
It looks like we're heading straight up there, and I can't blame him. There's a lot of item up here, so there could also clear out one of our crystal dungeons.
Yep, Tower Hera is full clearable, and you have access to the entire light side map. Lumaga is taking Jeremiah the Bullfrog on the Dark World Core. Gets the blue boomerang. And he'll be headed over to Hype Cave to pick up his lamp and mirror momentarily.
Get a heart container from the old man on the mountain here, so start to look pretty good on the health situation.
So I have a question. So we get that boots hint in early on, right? It said Light World. Is the pedestal a Light World location, or is it characterized differently? Yes, it is.
Yes. There's a shovel on top of Spectacle Rock. And powder inside.
Oh, there you go. This early on, I'm getting that powder.
Pedestal and green pendant is also light roll, so it could be in a few spots here. Those boots.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and if you get that powder, then the magic bat is open. If I were Teknolink, I would have gone and gotten that, I think.
I would most likely go and grab that because, as you're saying, magic bat is a thing, and there's also just having a good safety.
It's a great safety. Teknolink headed up the Ether Tablet. 3 bombs. Lumaga, the full Dark World loop with Jeremiah the Bullfrog.
There's just another 10 arrows here on the pyramid ledge.
Lumaga making her way all the way up to Catfish, as I like to call her, my girlfriend who goes to another school. Lumaga still 80 rupees short of Zora money, which is unfortunate.
I still not lucky enough with that. Hopefully there's some money here on Catfish.
Down to just half a heart. Let's see what
Ooh,
Catfish has.
single arrow on Catfish.
Oh, the arrow of destiny. And that's a save and quit. Teknolink dropping down to the big chest. That's a compass. That looks like, I believe then, since he checked that, we know we haven't found the item yet, which means those two items in Tower of Hera, one of them's on Moldorm, the other is in the basement. So we'll see if Teknolink heads back in to check the basement.
I feel like since he didn't even pick up the powder, I don't think he's going to go down to the basement either.
Yeah, that's risky. I don't know. You get Hera access this early. I'm going into the basement. It's always... Hera basement seems like it's always the answer. This is my thing. I'm always going to clear that out if I can.
Teknolink draws first blood here, gets the first crystal.
Just 20 rupees, but first crystal there at 30 minutes, 42 seconds. Some odd. Lumaga turning in the smith. We'll see what the smiths are building for us today. Here's Dwarven counterfeiters, 20 rupees.
Look like getting closer to that Zora money.
A little bit closer each time. Teknolink is headed down to the basement. Get some coffee break going on here, probably.
Looks like Lumaga is going the same way that Teknolink did earlier. Going up to the mountain, it got a few more checks up here than Teknolink. 2 more checks to be like that. He got Titan Smith, so can you check Super Bunny Cave?
Might be able to open up Turtle Rock as well. Can't do anything in there. Might be able to open it up. We'll see. Teknolink using a bomb to switch that crystal switch, putting themselves on those crystal pegs to get unlimited iframes. Just get to take a little break, a little coffee break in that.
Another big 20 down in the basement of Tower of Hera. Saves and quits. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, I would not... Huh. Oh, is he going to go back and get the powder? Maybe he'll go back and get the powder. I would not have saved and quit there. You don't have the hook shot. Just mirror out. Even if he's going to get back get the powder, just mirror out. Yeah, that might have just been a momentary lapse in judgment and frustration for having gone back into Hera Basement. Hera Basement is always the answer unless it's not.
But look at that, Teknolink is also going for that magic powder.
The sync is real. See some sick dueling bomb jumps here. Oh, Teknolink not even gonna bother. Saving and quitting again.
It's going to be interesting here, since Teknolink saves and quits again, he's not been going to check the other side of the mountain.
That seems like a really questionable choice, I gotta say. That's, what, 7, 8 items, 8 checks over there, 7 in Paradox Cave, 1 in Spiral Cave.
It
Trying to
feels
save it until he finds the mitts? I don't know.
It feels like a weird way to do it, but it's going to be interesting to see where Teknolink decides to go here. Probably going to go with Stumpy and Dig Game, and also being able to check out Cave 45.
It's true. Even doing this, I think I would have gone at it the other way. But, you know, could totally work. There are no bad decisions in here, just wrong one.
He does have the shovel as well. I did forget about that one. Being
That's
on
true.
top
Makes
of
this,
Spectral
yeah, makes
Rock.
this a little bit more, a little bit more appealing.
₹50 from the dig spot here.
Lumaga making his way into Tower of Hera. We'll see if he decides to go into the basement or if he skips it. Teknolink is going to mirror over to K45 here. Definitely needs a better name.
Ooh, there's the boots in Cape 45.
Oh, there you go. Maybe this is why. I gotta remember he's got that Light World check. I bet that's what it is with the frustration box.
Okay, so I totally understand Teknolink now.
Yep, I get it. I remember. You know, sometimes these Ambrosia settings are tricky, right? Like as a preset, it can be really easy to forget that one of the items in a dungeon is on the boss, and that you know sort of where the boots are. So I definitely get the incentive now. Apologies to Teknolink for doubting you before.
Teknolink was obviously on the hunt for those boots and got lucky in K45.
There weren't very many Light World Overworld locations left. There was that. There was the dig spot. There's Graveyard Ledge. Boots can't be in Bonk Rocks or in King's Tomb. So, you know, it, like, makes a lot of sense.
Pretty all right there. Worked out for Teknolink doing those checks there. Definitely worth saving quitting up on the mountain.
Chat raising a good point. It'd be really interesting to see how long it takes Lumaga to get back down there. I imagine he seems to be being pretty thorough. I imagine he'll use that hammer and head over to check the Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave.
And depends on what he finds over there, because it could take a while before he gets up those boots later on. Depending on what items we find later on.
Yeah, because if he finds like the bow, for instance, that might put that off. He pushes you over towards Pot Eastern.
There's a quick medallion on the magic bat.
That's 2 medallions out of the 3 that we could need in this seed. We will need at least one of them. Now we'll see if Teknolink heads into Skull Woods. It's something that Lumaga could have done and completed for a crystal. Chose not to, chose to put it off. So we'll see if Teknolink makes the same decision, or if he heads up there and full clears that.
There we go, Lumaga takes down Moldorm and got his first crystal.
1/7 of the way there, that first crystal for Lumaga. About 38 minutes.
Let's see what Lumaga decides to do here. Do we go back in? And we are going back in.
That's, you know, again, very defensible decision. At least it is the wrong one here, but at least we know he's not losing time relative to Teknolink because Teknolink did it as well. Teknolink, on the other hand, is going into Skullwoods, is going to rush the back, which makes a lot of sense in Ambrosia. You can beat Moth. You know that one of the 2 items in Skullwoods is on Mothula, so just head back there, get it out.
But first of all, get your head hype up, because we're getting a check here from Teknolink.
Ooh, here we go.
Oh. Well,
the dream is dead.
Well, I guess we can't get everything right.
we will endeavor to get everything else right, for sure. Teknolink being safe and killing off these Gibdos before pulling out the fire rod, or the lamp, actually. Gonna save some magic. That's probably prudent.
I want as many fire rod shots as possible on Mothulayer.
Yeah, especially with only 5 hearts. You have Tempered Sword. Makes it a little bit easier. And we do see Lumaga heading over to East Death Mountain. So we're going to see some things that Teknolink has put.
Starting off with a piece of heart there on the floating island. It's Quake for Turok.
That'll be convenient for Teknolink when he eventually makes his way up there. No item, no good item at least on Mothula, but Teknolink picking up his second crystal at about 40 minutes in. Lumaga going to show us what is in Super Bunny Cave today. We have heart container and another heart container. There you go. Never going to complain about full heart containers.
Yeah, it's going to make it to Lumaga make it probably a little bit safer to go back to Skullwoods later. Going to see a Spiral Cave going the slow way, not having boots here is making this a little bit boring going through this cave.
The long and winding road. Well, Teknolink is back in more of Skullwood, so seems like he didn't. I missed it. Seems like he didn't find the second item there in the bridge chest. We'll pull this statue over here. 20 rupees there for Lumaga and Spiral.
All that walking for nothing. There's our second item in Skullwoods. It's 10 arrows.
So total bust other than the crystal. The crystal's pretty good by itself.
Definitely one step closer to being able to finish the seed off.
Piece of heart and 50 rupees so far in Paradox Cave, in what is either the bottom or the top of Paradox Cave, depending on how you look. Lumaga headed up now to the other side of Paradox Cave.
Feels like seeing all those items from Paradox Cave feels like Teknolink actually bail on that.
Yeah, made the right choice. I mean, I you know, he's gonna check those at some point, but it does give him a leg up.
And there is our last medallion, Bombos in the Bonk Rocks. That's the
Bonk
name.
Rocks. Yeah. Teknolink now headed over to check Graveyard Ledge, and with that mirror, King's Tomb as well. Seems like we're probably going to see Lumaga head into Skull Woods here. Just 20 rupees above the pose today.
And another big 20 in King's Tomb. So nothing on those checks, but it's always nice to have both King's Tomb and the Burial Edge checked really early on.
Absolutely. I feel like at this point, what's our next play here? I would think probably Palace of Darkness is probably where I would head next. You don't have the bow, but you got everything else. Teknolink may be making a... Where's Teknolink going?
It looks like Teknolink is heading straight to Desert Palace.
Oh, that makes sense. You've got the gloves, you got the boots. It's boots locked. You know this. Yeah, that makes sense.
Teknolink going for the crystals that he can get early on here, so it's going to be interesting to see if he picks up anything good here, or where he will decides to go later on.
Yep, always a good decision. If you got a crystal dungeon that you can full clear, just do it. Gotta do it anyway. Get it out. Lumaga brazenly using all of his magic in the torch room in Skull Woods is gonna have to, doesn't have a key, is gonna have to slash this Gibdo to death.
Getting some help there from the spike there, so it makes it a little bit easier to kill the Gibgo.
Hammer strats on Mothula here. With Lumaga's Master Sword. Mothula is a fun fight, and by fun I mean not even a little bit fun. Takes him down there. Of course, those spikes, if you hit Mothula in any of those spikes, Mothula takes no damage from whatever you just hit him into it with. Just this game is well made. Teknolink having a little bit of trouble right away with the Landmolas fight, missing some of those early fire rod shots. Choosing to take him down with the Tempered Sword after that. That should do it. Oop, there we go.
And picks up the Cane of Samaria.
Ooh, need that.
Yeah, we'll need the Cane of Samaria, but it doesn't unlock anything for Teknolink right now.
No, it doesn't. But does mean that we might be able to show off some of the new tech that is allowed today in the league for the first time. Got a couple glitches that make good use of the Cane of Samaria here. That is, and those are were just allowed by the Raiding Council yesterday. So we'll talk about more about those if they come up. Yeah, unfortunately, Ice Palace is the big one. There, it's a pendant. So hopefully they'll have to dip it so we can see Icebreaker. That'll be cool. Whatever controversy. There's no controversy. They're allowed now. That's the end of the decision. I like the background music that we have here of the Bunny Dark Death Mountain theme. One of the best songs in the game that you don't hear for very long. A heart container is the second item in the thing. Oh, you guys can't hear the music. Oh, okay, fine.
So where will Teknolink is going to head straight over to Death Mountain again and check out the checks that Lumaga did that we mentioned earlier. So we'll not pick up anything good over here, but it'll be interesting to see when Teknolink decides to dip into Thieves Town.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely a defensible decision, right? But unfortunately, we know that he will need to dip into that pendant Thieves Town to get those Titans nets. So we'll see how long it takes him to get up.
Looks like Lumaga is going for the purple chest, and will, by doing this, pick up his boots from K45.
Yeah, unfortunately, finding those boots early has been a boon for Teknolink. It's a good like 10 minutes or so that Teknolink has had the boots and been able to run around.
So where do you think Lumaga will head next with those boots? Do you think he will dip into desert, or will he check out other locations?
I imagine that desert is coming up next. You know, again, just for the same logic as we did before, right? You're gonna be right over there with the purple chest. It's clearable. You've got everything you need to do it. You got to do it. Just do it now. After that, I don't know. It still seems like maybe Pod is the play, even without the bow.
We're going to have to make a decision here because we don't have that many places open left. We have seen a lot of checks from Lumaga with the Titan Smiths, but haven't really unlocked anything so far.
Yeah, Lumaga heading back in the portal, going over to check the Bombos tablet, and I imagine Desert Palace afterwards. Teknolink dipping back into the Dark World here. We'll see where he heads next. Likely Pod or Swamp.
I think this is going to be a Palace of Darkness check from Teknolink.
Certainly looks that way, and I can't blame him. You can get everything in here, almost. Does I don't think Teknolink has a potion.
We don't have any bottles yet. We only see one, and
potion, yeah.
we only see one, and it's on Sora's Ledge.
That is true. So can't do that. But Pod still there are. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, a whole mess of checks. As long as you find a key in that first chest.
I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure we'll soon enough find one of our bows. Probably inside Pod, to be honest.
It's entirely possible.
That, or we need to dip further into Thieves Town at this point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You know, like again, like I said before, I'm someone that Thieves Town is fast enough that I'm gonna I'm gonna check the back, especially if I've got the hammer, even if it isn't. And especially since we only found the one item in the front.
Yeah, it's sometimes just better to go and clear out the whole dungeon sometimes, even if it is a pendant dungeon. But in a Borussia mode, I've seen a lot of items being inside pendant these turns, so it's definitely a decision you need to make.
Yeah, we see Teknolink headed up to Zora. He's gonna get that bottle. We're gonna see a splash delete fake flipper. This has to do something about with the Ancilla manipulation, other items that you can have on screen. So we'll see if Teknolink is going to do, I believe, probably a bombs and Cane of Samaria setup here. If you overload the game with too many things, then it skips the splash animation. And the splash animation is what checks whether you have flippers or not. So we'll see Teknolink trying to get into the right spot for this. We'll see if he can pull it off. This is one of the trickier setups. The easiest one, I think, probably is probably with the bow.
But it looks like Teknolink. Oh, so close.
Oh, didn't get it. You do have to make it down both of those jumps before all of the items fall off the screen. And looks like he is giving up.
He's giving up due to having no bombs anymore.
That'll do it. Well, hopefully Teknolink now headed into... Looks like he's headed back towards the village. Hopefully this is that Thieves Town play.
Lumaga takes down Lamolas here, gets his third crystal and his Cane of Samaria.
We are all tied up.
This is just going to be a little bit of a race to see who finds the next progression here for these two runners.
Yeah, it seems like either... What are we still looking for? We're still looking for the flippers. We'll need a bow. We need a hook shot.
And that ice rod.
And the ice rod. Yep. The flute could be nice mobility item, but could signal that they need to make a dip into Misery Mire, which is not what they want to do.
Yeah, they're almost an hour in. You don't want to do that. See, Teknolink heads into Thieves Town. It's going to be interesting to see if he decides to go and clear out the whole dungeon, or he's happy with the Tiresmiths.
Looks like he's not sure either. As he hesitates after after picking up the mitts. Almost saves and quits, decides to move on.
I mean, at this point, I would not blame him to save and quit, but at the same time, you only got one item from this dungeon, and you know there's three, and one is on the boss.
Yeah, so he's at least committed to checking the other three checks up here in the front of the dungeon. Gonna be disappointed. He'll find the big key, the small key, and one of the other two, either the map or the compass. He'll have another decision to make. Will he go all the way through? That's a cute bunny sprite.
He decides it's time to leave.
So what those other 3 items in Thieves Town will remain a mystery for now, as Teknolink takes his Titan's mitts. He's gonna buy some more bombs. We'll see where he heads next. Maybe a smith chain here. Unfortunately for him, we know that is not gonna pay off very well.
I wonder, is Lumaga going for Palace of Darkness play here?
Entirely possible. I don't know if this is any faster going at it from over here with the flute. Or without the flute, rather. I don't know if it's any faster than just doing the swamp portal. But, you know, it's fine.
I want to get some new checks here from Lumaga's side. We already see the hammer pegs and the smiths from earlier, so it's time to maybe find some progression here. Or maybe we're already bow-like from the first chest.
At this point, for their sake, I hope they find a key in that first chest, because we're really, you know, it's either this or, oh man, heading into hookshot-less swamp. Nobody wants to see that.
I mean, we do. There's ways to do in Swamp Palace now, but
that is true. That is true. But it doesn't make it's still without the hook shot. Still not fun.
But then we don't have flippers. We can't really check a lot of stuff inside Swamp either way.
Yeah, they can't check anything in Swamp. I always forget about the flippers. This is like the 3rd race in a row that I've commentated that I just the fact that they don't have the flippers completely skips my mind.
Let's see, first chest. Oh, there's the bow. Bow inside pod.
Oh, well, looks like that was the play all along. Lumaga will be able to continue on and full clear pod, be able to mirror out and do Eastern as well, as Lumaga has taken the lead, I
was going to make a funny joke here, but I just was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I was going to say, well, we all know it's a bow-locked pod, but we did get the bow, so I mean, it did make sense.
So what was the funny joke? I don't understand.
That was bow-locked, but we got the bow in the first chest.
Teknolink headed up the mountain again, unfortunately going to be disappointed with what he can get so far. Although we will be able to see, he does have those boots, we will be able to see that first chest in Hookshot Cave. I have seen the hookshot there before. Let's see if that plays out, that works out for him.
I mean, it's maybe a hookshot, or maybe it's that he finds something like flippers. Or maybe the ice rod.
The ice rod could be there. The other bow could be there, for all that we know.
But definitely, going to pod here was definitely the play to do right now.
Find a small key and the big key over on the bow-locked side. Now we'll see, Lumaga has a bit of a choice here to make. He's got a key, got the big key, got the bow. Oh, we're gonna see one of those clips here, the Pog clip. He's gonna be able to extend the stair state up here. Take a look at Lumaga's stream here. Puts down the block. Not quite able to get it. You put down the block, you go kind of down and right until you hit the ledge there, then dash turn up and then you go over the thing. Well, you know, yeah, the glitch has existed forever, Math Girl, you know, but it's new. It is newly legal.
Let's see, Teknolink going in here in Hookshot Cave, but let's see, did we get a hookshot from? Nope.
There it is, the moment.
20 rupees.
Yeah, unfortunately, that means this big waste of time here. Although he did open up Turtle Rock, has the Cane of Samaria now, has the Fire Rod, we'll be able to make a couple checks in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes in to Turtle Rock and finds maybe 2 big items, maybe he can find a hookshot and an ice rod, that would be a very big play, I would say. And it looks like Teknolink is actually pulling for a Turok play.
I like this at this point. There aren't that many places at this point that you know can have progression. You're up here, you have stuff, you may as well see how far you can get. We know that pod is the play, but we do need to, and we'll see if this pays off with the flippers maybe.
With the equipment Teknolink got, he can make it all the way to Laser Bridge, so let's see if it works out for Teknolink.
Yeah, so that means there will be 4 items accessible to Teknolink in here. If he finds the Ice Rod, then he can beat Trinex with the 5th.
We also have the pleasure of being able to do Mimic Cave as well.
Teknolink remembering that he doesn't have the hook shot, so has to go down and take the long way.
That's the boring part with Turok, when you don't have a hook shot.
We did this a little bit out of order.
Yeah, but this is...
Oh no, and goes back around. Yep, and the door is locked again. Just to respond in chat, yes, there are lots of things that you can do with major glitches. You know, most of our viewers aren't going to know that. So...
Let's see here what we will find. Do we find more progression inside of Pod, or do we find other progression here in Turok?
Not yet, just a heart container there as Lumaga shoots the statue and opens up the cutscene here. I learned the other day this cutscene is exactly as long as the cutscene in Misery Mire, where the wall is extending, but this one feels faster, you think, because you can actually see the wall moving, whereas in Misery Mire it's in the other room.
The most annoying enemy in the game, the Chinchomps.
Ooh, and Teknolink having a hard time with them.
Going back like that doesn't restore the room, but he's definitely in a tight situation here.
Yikes. These things on green mail do 4... they do 4 hearts of damage on green mail, 3 on blue mail. Ooh, and there it is. That is a dangerous, dangerous room. Get your Fs in chat. Press F to pay respect.
That is why Turok is one of the worst dungeons, I would say, because of that room. Because even if you have a lot of health, getting unlucky with the Chainchomp's positioning, we just saw it from Teknolink. It's brutal.
It is brutal. Lumaga, nice timing there on the Helmosaur fight. It's the last mask piece to fly off as the fireballs are coming out of Helma's mouth, and just delete them. It's nice. It's good. Lumaga will get another crystal and the red mail from Helmosaur, or the yellow mail, I guess, there from Mega Man X.
Okay, so Lumaga got 4 crystals, got red mail, got the bow for the dungeon, but it unlocks the 1 item in Eastern Palace that's left, but let's see what that will give us. Otherwise, it's not looking that great.
Yeah, at this point, we're really looking for those flippers. Maybe that we can find those over here on Armos Night. The hook shot as well. If you don't find... Oh, man, if you don't find either of those things, it's the back of Thieves Town, I think, is the next play, yeah?
I mean, if you don't want to do what Teknolink is doing right now, we haven't seen a lot of from this dungeon, but if it's not in Turok from Teknolink's side, it has to be back of Thieves Town at this point.
Keep an eye on Teknolink's screen here. 50 rupees in the lava chest. He will need to go around and he'll check Mimic Cave. He'll check the big chest at this point. Needs a key anyway.
2 items out of, what is it, 5 items? But we can only get 2 more since we don't have the ice rod.
Lumaga headed into the back of Eastern Palace for the first. Teknolink will check Mimic Cave here. Makes sense. Pulls out that mirror. Will this be our flippers or our hook shot?
Or maybe our first bottle.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But it's even better. Well, I wouldn't say it's even better, but it's Butter Sword.
I can't believe it's not Butter Sword. That's significantly worse, I gotta say, than most of the things that we were looking for. So. Nice to have, I guess. But tempered is the one that you really want. Just 50 rupees there for Lumaga off of Armos Knight, the key in the Turtle Rock Big Chest.
Oh boy, this is where does Lumaga go now? Because he doesn't have much options here. It has to be a Thieves Town, or it's
got to be
Turtle
back
Rock.
at Thieves Town. All right, we got 2 items on Laser Bridge for Teknolink. 1 on Trinex. Yeah, a sword made out of butter. Very bad, right? Butter not, it's cut like a hot knife through butter, like not cut with a hot butter through a knife. If that made any sense.
Well, it made my brain work a lot.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Lumaga is, oh,
Lumaga haven't checked, he's got to get his Quake medallion here.
Oh, magic bat, yeah. Scalding hot butter, but nobody said this sword was scalding hot. That's all I'm saying. Teknolink opening that door at the back Laser Bridge just for safety. These checks are, actually, you know what? These checks are not, I don't know, I don't think the boots put these checks in logic. I think you need an invincibility item in order for there to be logic. So we probably won't find, we might not find any progression. Or maybe we will.
Oh, there's a hook shot.
Oh, well, never mind.
I have magic. So that's the last 2 items we could find, because there's a key here on Laser Bridge.
Teknolink smartly, I think, taking the Death Warp there.
So we found the hook shot. Does unlock Hookshot Cave, but otherwise it doesn't unlock anything else.
Yeah, that's really the play. Unfortunately, Teknolink is here, and so has, instead of being able to mirror back to the front of Turtle Rock, has to go a little bit of a long way around. Lumaga is making that back of Thieves Town play. We'll see if the flippers were hiding back here the whole time.
And yeah, the Laser Bridge without invincible item is actually in logic because you can skip lasers. So it's
so the boots put them in logic, or are they in logic even without the boots?
Since you can do laser skips, I think you need without boots as well. It's actually in logic.
Oh, I definitely need to learn that then.
Let's see if it's back of Thieves Town or if it is Hookshot Cave. I mean, at this point, it could just be that we find something in Hookshot Cave and we find something else in Thieves Town. Oh, there's our flippers in Hookshot Cave.
Ooh, Teknolink, I think, back in this race, I gotta say, now with the hookshot and the flippers, I believe now we're looking for that ice rod. That ice rod is the last thing that we need, at least, to be in no mode. The possibility of the flute.
We know what the ice rod can do to our runners in rando, so let's hunt down that ice rod.
Yeah, it is not called the godforsaken ice rod for nothing. The only thing in the entire game that the ice rod is required for is to beat Trinex. And so here we know the other than Trinex or Ganon's Tower, the ice rod can be literally anywhere else in the game.
I guess as long as we don't find the flute, I think our runners should be happy. But since Teknolink is going immediately to Swamp Palace, I think he's on the right track to find Ice Rod. It feels like it.
Yeah, even if the ice rod's not here, there's our first bottle in the big chest of Thieves Town. Even if the ice rod isn't here in Swamp, this is the next obvious play, right? It's full clearable now. It's not a gigantic disaster. You have the hammer, or excuse me, you got the hook shot, you got the flippers. Maybe you've even got the Cane of Samaria. Maybe we'll see Diver Down here.
Yeah, that would be very fun to see if Teknolink actually pulls it off.
It's not too bad. I figured out with the Cane of Samaria in the back for those two chests. We'll see if he uses it to check left side swamp a little bit easier too. As Lumaga heads over and to kill Blind the Thief on script so far.
Pretty good fight there from Lumaga. And there's the Ice Rod!
On Blind! Oh! Ooh!
That's bad.
Oh, man. That's bad for Teknolink, right? Because now Lumaga is almost certainly going to head up to Turtle Rock as his next play. He will find the shot. He will find the flippers, and he will almost certainly be in go mode.
Oh, this is so bad for Teknolink because it felt like he was on the right path. I mean, he still is, but he needs to go back to that Thieves Town, and I don't think he will do it.
Hard to say. Man, that kid's got a lot of money. Show me a bottle, I'll give you $300.
He was very desperate for a bottle, so I mean, I would take it. I would sell my bottle.
Yeah. I don't know, I would definitely, in this day and age, I'd take that bottle, but I would disinfect it really, really hard. Lumaga thinking nice and hard before deciding where to go. He is going up to the mountain. I hope for his sake this is the Turtle Rock play, as we see Teknolink headed in the back. Skipping left side for now.
This is Lumaga will be in go mode pretty soon, to be honest, because he's heading straight to Turtle Rock.
Not really sure why he's deciding. Oh, because he's going this way because he doesn't have the hook shot yet. Because the hook shot is on Laser Bridge. That's right. Never mind. We did not see Diver Down from Teknolink. That would have allowed him to get these two chests and get down here without draining that water. So that's unfortunate we didn't see that.
So one thing that could be very brutal for Teknolink that could set him even further back is if he finds the flute.
Oh, yeah, that would be dangerous. If the flute is here on Argus, or I'm not sure how many more items. I lost track of how many items we found in Swamp Palace. I'm not sure how many there are left. There's at least one here on Argus, but yeah, you're right. If that's the flute, that could send him into a big misery mire-shaped hole.
But Lumaga heading straight in. We'll be in go mode soon.
This has been a good race. Lots of twists and turns, a number of different apparent lead changes. Teknolink is about to get crystal number 4 here. Still needs to go into pod.
Gets the mushroom from Argus.
Oh no!
It's
not the flute. It's not the flute, but you know, still not what.
I mean, it's like Shad pointing out what our tractor Tabby Cat, not the flute yet, but you never know what the mushroom will give you.
Yep. And Teknolink noping out of left side.
This gotta be the pod play from Teknolink.
I would think so. Yep, seems like it. He will be rewarded with the bow and the red mail and 2 crystals.
I will check Hobo first, because he never checked him earlier when he fake flippered.
Sure, okay.
Gets the Ether Medallion, so hopefully we don't need that for, you know, a flute that shows up.
Yeah, at this point, finding that flute. Now, we know he's not going to find the flute in Pod or Eastern. But finding that flute, worst case scenario for Teknolink for sure. Looks like not the pod play yet. Going to run up and turn in that mushroom at the potion shop first.
Please be not the flute, please, game.
Anything but the flute.
Looks like Lumaga got some issues here as well with the chain jumps.
Lumaga is at least on red mail, making it a little bit easier to deal with, but that's still 2 hearts per chain jump.
And the mushroom turning gives you... Okay, whew. It was only 3 bombs, but it's the same color as the flute, so it's a little bit...
You see that blue and you start to freak out. Teknolink now is going to get that bottle. I get this. I get it. Just because you don't know if Pod is going to be bow locked or not. So the point there is a glitch in Pod called the potion glitch, where on that bow locked side. Oh, that's funny. That's a good bunny sprite there of the Dr. Light hologram. In the the bow side of Pod, that with the room with the mimics in the lower right hand corner, all you need to do is kill the mimics in that room, but you can only kill the red ones with the bow. The nice thing is, again, this game well coded. If the mimics are off screen, the game thinks they're dead and opens the doors. And what you can do is, if you drink that potion from a bottle at a specific time in the previous room, it tricks the game into forgetting where the camera is. Mimic clip is minor, or that is totally allowable here today. And doing that tricks the game into unlocking the camera. And so you move into the next room, and you can get the camera off center. You can grab the wall, move the mimics off screen. Game thinks they're dead, and move right along.
This game is pretty well programmed. Like the programming for this game is very, you know,
it's
very
top
good.
Notch. Top notch. It was 1991. Let's give them a break.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't believe that we would sit here in 2020 and figure stuff out, right?
Absolutely. You know, they made a heck of a game. We're still, not only that we're still playing it, right, but that there's still ways that we're finding to break it.
And Lumaga can breathe out. We'll get a tempered sword here, so we'll not do Trinex with just a master sword.
We saw Teknolink taking a break here.
Is this the Galaxy Brain play from Teknolink to go and get your Ice Rod?
Well, unfortunately, we know that, I mean, like, he's going to need to do this for sure, but we know that he's eventually going to need to make it over there to Pod.
But when he goes over to Pod, he will get that big key very early on, so he can just go to, because he will be in go mode. And he goes into Thieves Town. This is the play he needs to do.
Yes. That is a good point. If that bow at that point will be his go mode item, and so he will get the bow, and the key layout will work so that he doesn't need to screw around with the back or the basement of Pod at all. He'll be able to rush right to Helmasaur and get there. We have ourselves a race here. I think Lumaga still has the advantage here. He'll be able to go mode Swamp, which is probably a little bit faster than a go mode Pod and a go mode Eastern. But you know, this will be close at the end.
Oh yeah, it's not over yet. That's for sure.
Runners making these laser skips look easy. They're not. It's very difficult timing and real easy to fall into those pits. Take it from me. I know. I've done it a lot.
Yeah, I even got that. You know, when you double die kind of thing, the Japanese 1.0. So I know how hard it is. So it's not fun when it happens.
Yeah, in this version of the ROM, the reason we use this 1.0 Japanese version of the game as Lumaga is about to get his hook shot.
Hook shot and half magic before Trinex.
Very nice thing to have. He'll be in go mode as soon as he finds the flippers in Hookshot Cave. Lots of the glitches that we use in Rando are exclusive to the Japanese 1.0 release because they were then patched out of the game for the North American release. But one of the things in the Japanese version of the game that's not great is that you can be hit while you are falling down a pit. You can be hit by those lasers, which do a lot of damage. You can kill you, and you can also be grabbed by a wall master in Skull Woods. Yes, you're falling down a pit, which is not fun either. Lumaga headed in to take down Trinex. Going for the well, I thought he was going for the zero cycle.
This could be interesting. I'm pretty sure Lumaga will check out Hookshot Cave when this is done, but depending on if he doesn't do it and there's a flute on Trinex here, it could be change stuff up.
Ooh, yeah, I'd be hard pressed not to check Hookshot Cave at this point. Yeah. He's got to be careful though. He's down to 2 hearts, so one hit from Trinex might kill him here. Should be okay.
Oh, commentator's curse. Commentator's curse.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Lumaga. I'm so sorry. At least you took that safety door. It is literally my job to say things.
There's the ice rod for Teknolink. Just needs to head over to Pod and Eastern Palace, and we'll be in go mode.
This might pull him back up to Turtle Rock, though. We'll see.
Oh yeah, right. He already cleared out the Pyramid Fairy Crystal in Swamp Palace as well, so this could be very bad. Unless there's a bow here on Trinex, of course.
Oh yeah, that would work out. Oh, yep, there he goes. Yep.
The last sword that Lumaga didn't pick up is on Zora, because Lumaga managed to be out without Zoraman, I think it was like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's right. So he won't be getting that. But the difference between the gold sword and the tempered sword is very, very minor. so he should be fine.
And there we go. Trinix is down for Lumaga.
The flute would be the worst thing for Teknolink. The bow would be the best thing.
There's a bottle. On
It's a
Trinix.
bottle. No harm, no foul.
Let's
Lumaga
see,
needs to head into Hookshot Cave. Once he does, he will be in go mode as he gets crystal number 6.
I mean, there's no way Lumaga skips Hookshot K, right?
No, I would think not.
Yeah, he's going to the Hookshot Cave.
That'd be, what's the opposite of Galaxy Brain? That would be skipping Hookshot Cave here.
I mean, to be honest, there was nothing else for Lumaga to check except Sora, of course. So,
Yeah, no, this is obviously the play.
and there we go. Lumaga at 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 38 seconds is in go mode.
And he will be headed down. He's saving Quip. This will be a very, very quick go mode Swamp Palace from Lumaga, and then he will be headed up the tower. Teknolink now, you know, something's going to have to go real wrong on Lumaga's side in order for Teknolink to pull back into this race at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen stuff happen before, so I'm not going to rule
sure.
anything out. So,
Oh, sure, it's totally possible. It's totally possible, but it would need to be a pretty spectacular collapse at this point. Pokey's giving him a little bit of trouble. I don't know why you just don't pull out the fire rod and roast him. But, you know, maybe he's frustrated.
the Pokies are a little bit annoying. I agree on that one.
You know, sometimes you get that nice spin strat where you can, you double hit them and you get both. But if you miss that, you can't then do the spin strat again. It doesn't work unless it's all 4 of them. So, you know, just fire rod and forget it.
So for Teknolink here, when he's done with Trinix, he just, I mean, at this point, you just gotta dip pod. There's no point of keeping
Yeah, I'm
it,
not like what even else would be left.
I mean, he does have flippers, but I don't think he wants to dip into Ice Pelt, right?
Oh yeah, oh geez, that would be a disaster. Maybe less of a, well, I mean, it would be a disaster. It's like, from his point of view, he doesn't know where Lumaga is, right? You know, but I would imagine both of our runners feel behind at this point.
Oh yeah, most likely, because when you got your hook shot there on Laser Bridge, you would be like, oh, somebody have done this already.
Yeah, and especially when you get the ice rod. You know, they're like, oh man, the other guy must have just cleared Thieves Town.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, you know, I could totally see Teknolink going into Ice Palace before, you know, just going to pod and hoping. It's totally plausible. I don't know that we know it's not the right call, but yeah. Chat raising a good point though. If pod is the play, then he knows that he's probably out of it at this point. So maybe you go to ice just to hope against hope that second bow is there.
There's Trinix down for Teknolink, and Lumaga is closing in on Argus.
Unfortunately, neither of our runners showing us that new dagger down glitch. That's okay. You'll see it before too long, I'm sure. Today's the first day that it's been allowed in competitive.
Teknolink, where are you going?
Spike Cave?
I mean, he has 2 bottles, so he could do it. And a lot of hearts, so makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, you're up here. Lumaga getting kicked around by that Skeeter a little bit. Don't put them in chat yet, but start thinking about those Ganon's Tower big key numbers. Get that game started up here as soon as Lumaga gets that 7th crystal.
I'm pretty sure that was a thank card for Teknolink.
Don't put them in chat yet, Hacksaw. It won't count.
There's a mushroom for Lumaga, and there is the last crystal for Lumaga. So, I guess we're going, like, you want to play a game, Tyler?
I do want to play a game. Let's get some numbers in chat. Pick a number from 1 to 22, or 22 locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower where the big key can be. It can be in any of those. Pick a number between 1 and 22. Get it in the chat. And whoever, if somebody nails it, or whoever is the closest, they will win internet points, which is the most important thing in the world. Nilsson, talk to me about your guess.
I took number 15 today because usually I just go for Title Room, but I feel like these runners had enough today.
Yeah, I tried to go for 10. Masterol sniped me on 10, so I went for 11.
11 is a pretty solid number.
Yeah, those are often in 10 and 11, depending on the different routes that you go through, are often in the rooms with 4 chests: Stalfos room or Rando room or the Compass room, depending on how you go. So it's a decent play there. I've been known to pick 1 as well.
Just rupees at Pyramid Ferry for Teknolink. You need to go to your pod.
The frustration spin there. This has got to be the pod play.
Yeah, this is definitely pod. Teknolink got nothing else than doing pendant ice pals. I don't think you want to do this at 1 hour 37 minutes in.
Yeah, I understand. Like, maybe it's the right play from a gambling perspective, but we know that it's the wrong play in reality. Here, as we know, he will get that bow and go into go mode as soon as he opens that first chest in Palace of Darkness. That ended up being the difference here in this race. Teknolink is going to be very mad here in just a second. Get those last guesses in, like big key guessing game. It will stop the bot as soon as Lumaga enters the tower.
There we go. Starting out on the right side with the Hope Room coming up. Starting out with 10 arrows in chest number 1. Chest number 2 is a small key, so we're going to stick on the right side for now.
Yeah, without that small key, would have to mirror out and head back over to the left side. But this is Fire Rock. Teknolink is now in go mode with that bow. Is at a serious disadvantage, however, at this point.
Oh, if this is Tower Room for that big key, he could gain a lot of time if he Galaxy Brains it.
Always, I love the Galaxy Brain Tile Room first play. That room with the chest that Lumaga just dashed through. Takes a long time to get that chest because you have to wait for. Or the chest isn't there until the tile is done.
Chest number
you have to wait
3.
for all the tiles.
So, card container. Chest number 4, bombs. Chest number 5 is something I don't remember. But there's
Red
your
shield.
big key.
There's the big key, number 6.
And Hacksaw wins internet points.
10 internet points for Hacksaw. GG, Hacksaw. Nice job. Ravis 10, still the leader on this channel with 172 points. That is ridiculous. That's what comes from guessing 10 all the time.
would say it's not over until it's over, but it definitely puts Teknolink even further behind that Lumaga finds that big key real early.
Yep. The fat lady isn't saying yet, but she's backstage. She's warming up. But we still have a gauntlet and an Aghanim 2 fight and a Ganon fight. There's not, I gotta say, these runners do not have a ton of safety items. They got red mail, which is nice, but no silvers. Gonna have to do the silverless fight. Only 2 bottles, no cape to be able to cheese the Ganon fight. These are both experienced runners. I imagine they will have no problem, but you know, not much margin for error here.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always nice, even if you're an experienced runner or not. It's always nice to have at least a safety going into the Ganon fight.
Yeah, it's a you know, there's a reason it's the last boss, right? It's a tricky fight, regardless.
Oh yeah, especially when you have to do it silverless as well. It takes a few. Takes a little bit longer than it would normally do.
Absolutely. Very, very nice ice conveyor room there in the gauntlet. Lumaga pulls out the fire rod. Yeah, powder is nice. It does give you some nice safeties here in the tower. Nice double spin there.
That's the only bad part, if you could say it like that. When you use powder before Amolas, it makes them spawn a little bit faster, so you get a little different pattern.
Yeah, as soon as you enter that room to the right, the timer starts going, but they won't actually spawn until you enter the room with the Lenmolas. And so if you take too long in that other room, like if you're powdering the anti-fairy, then it's possible that all 3 Lenmolas will start spawning at the same time, and you won't be able to cycle it well. We head into the most satisfying rooms in the game. 1. And 2. There you go. Oh, man, that's so smooth. I love it. And name that Pokemon over on Teknolink's side. It's Pikachu!
It's very weird color if that's Dragonite or not.
Some other form. I don't know. I played the first one, and then everything else has been a blur. We'll see if Lumaga opens up these chests here. We'll need to kill one of these mini Helmosaurs for that key. Yeah, all of the sprites change color depending on what armor they get. Almost all of them. There's usually even a smaller difference. Like I know on the Cactuar, I think it is. It's a really small difference. On the Moogle, on Mog, it's a really small difference.
There goes Moldorn 2 down for Lumaga.
He is skipping all of these chests. Not even gonna bother checking that last chest. He's very obviously quite confident in his silverless fight. He's thinking that, you know, like we were talking earlier about how both of our runners probably think they're behind. He's getting up here to the top of this tower and being like, oh wait, I haven't seen a dot done in SRL yet. It's crazy.
You're probably checking that room right now and be like, oh no, I'm so close. There will be a dot done soon. Like that's probably what's going through your mind. But Lumaga takes down the good old Aga 2.
As we are headed into the fight with the big pig, Ganon himself. Nice pixel there, finding that spot to keep bouncing off the torch with some nice slashes in there. Lumaga into phase. This is a real low percent seed here.
You gotta be careful here with the fire bats because they are not playing nice.
No, easily the hardest part of the Ganon fight there is phase 2. Lumaga did a pretty good job there into phase 3. Then without the silver arrows, you need 12 spins on Ganon. Silver arrows were in Ice Palace. We'll see if Lumaga can get the torch glitch here. Gets it. Makes this a silverless fight a lot easier.
Wait, where was the silver arrows?
Ice Palace.
Well, if Teknolink would have gone there, like we were talking about, he would have found a bow.
He would have found a bow. That is absolutely true. But with the silverless fight, you have to, while both torches are lit, spin Ganon right as he is starting to warp. There is just a couple frame window there where he is vulnerable to a spin. You do that 12 times with the Tempered Sword. Shouldn't be much longer here.
There we go. There's the last spin, and Lumaga takes down Ganon. Just needs to cross the bridge. Hopefully, there's no issues with the bridge. And Lumaga crossed the bridge, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour 47 minutes and 43 seconds. GG's to Lumaga.
GG Lumaga, and we are joined by Lumaga on air. GG.
Hey, thank you so much.
So wow, what a seed.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, and that's...
There kind of was. At the same time, I felt like I got funneled more than once, and I don't know. It didn't seem too terrible. There were some terrible feelings, like I had to go back into Thievestown, and I thought, oh man, maybe Teknolink cleared this out the first time. Thankfully, I had already found the boots, so I thought I might make up some time there. Looks like he had a little bit more trouble, so I guess that's a little bit of a relief on my side. But
both of you skipped out on the backside of Thievestown. He actually skipped out on the front for a while, so you had the mitts long before he did.
Oh no!
He actually, but then as soon as he got the mirror, he actually we were really surprised. He skipped out on the east side of the mountain and went straight into that South Dark World loop, the South Light World loop. And Dark World. You checked Cave 45 pretty early on there and got his boots. But the difference, I think, in the race was you going into Pod and finding that bow in the first chest. It took Teknolink a lot. He was avoiding that very, very strongly. What made you check that so early on?
Well, I think at that point, I had hard skipped Zora, and I think even before I went up to TR, I was like, well, maybe I should do Zora, but I skipped it anyway. I just knew I needed a bow in order to finish it. I didn't have a bottle, so I couldn't even do the camera unlock. But I was crossing my fingers, and it was in that first chest, so that was pretty cool. But I just kind of had few choices to do, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there really wasn't there. You know, there were never too many options open to you two. But fortunately for you, you made the right choices when you were presented with them to really kind of put off that one dip there. It looked like the other bow was in Ice Palace, which neither of you entered into today.
Yeah, there was no way I was going to head into Ice Palace. The only thing that would have led me there was not finding the hook shot, but finding the flippers. But I found them both up on Death Mountain.
Right, yeah, with the hookshot locking the flipper.
Yeah, that was one thing that Teknolink did earlier in the new. He went for Turtle Rock and he found that hook shot, but he didn't have the ice rod at that point, so he had to double dip. And before going to pod getting the bow, he went back up to probably get his bow, which we never found in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it didn't seem like this seed really rewarded a whole lot of gambles.
No, it really didn't. Being thorough was the play here, I would say, especially with that Thieves Town play. You know, it didn't reward dipping out of Thieves Town. It didn't reward, you know, dipping going to Turtle Rock. First, I guess it did a little bit, but it would have been better if you did what you did and had the ice rod only went in there when you could full clear it. So, the ground fueled men take another 3 points, putting you at 7 on this season. Next week, we are headed into Enemizer mode. All the different enemies in all the rooms will be shuffled. There'll also be a full boss shuffle, so the bosses will be shuffled around from location to location. Lumaga, are you playing next week?
No, I won't be playing. Xylo and Verx will both be playing against the Team Consonants with JTB and with Jay Bradley. So I'm looking forward to watching the next week, but then I'll be back for the mystery week.
I am also looking forward to watching and not playing next week. So I'm right there with you. Teknolink making that last check there in Moldorm's last possessions, just 3 bombs in that chest. Maybe he was hoping for silvers or the cape. Not going to find them that time.
Let's see if Teknolink can pull off the Aga fight as good as Lumaga did.
That spite bonk there. A couple of those. Obviously frustrated, knows that he has lost at this point, finishing out his seed. The bonks just to spite his fantasy owners.
There we go. Aga goes down for Teknolink. Teknolink is going to get ready to fight the big pig.
So many bonks. Just trying to kill that bat right there. Lumaga, how has the how have you enjoyed the league season so far?
I've had a blast. I feel like this is maybe a bit more even footing than you know, like the qualifier stage of the tournament. I didn't go any farther than that. So it's great to have a lot more maybe even competition some weeks. Some weeks maybe a little bit more one-sided, but I mean, it's the bit of an any given Sunday kind of element where just got to play your best that game, and you can do it. But I'm having a blast.
Absolutely. With those 7 points now, Grouchy Old Men moving up 1 spot in the standings to fourth place in the Lost Woods division. So just outside of the playoff picture there with Butler Buddies, Team Kappa, and Team Rebetta team names all sitting tied for the lead at 9 points. Will Pulphead for Food, they're 3 points, sitting in 6th place.
Gotta be a pretty sweet feeling there, Lumaga, taking this 3-pointer with you into the next week.
Yeah, it does feel good, especially after my my tie last week, which Varanth and I both tied on our first week, and it was a great game. But you go back and you kind of second guess every move you make. At least here, I can look back and say with confidence, I did my best.
Yeah, I'd say both of you played very well execution-wise. Certainly, it was very smooth for both of you. And I'll tell Teknolink that in just a second as he is finishing up his Ganon fight here. Just a couple more spins. Oh, got a slash off there.
There we go. Teknolink takes down Ganas. Get your GGs in chat for Teknolink as well. Just going to cross that bridge. Teknolink runs over, finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 43 seconds. GG's to Teknolink that also joined us right now. GG's.
Let's see if Teknolink can, he's in the channel. Wait for that push talk button.
Hello.
There you are. GG, Teknolink.
What a seat.
Talk to me about that bow.
Well, I didn't expect that. And what can I say? The moment I saw it, I knew either Lumaga did not find Quake, or I lose at this point.
Yeah, no, at that point, he was able to go in there a little bit earlier than you found that, was able to knock those out there. That ended up being the difference. Luckily, neither of you ended up, both of you ended up double dipping Thieves Town. So that didn't, it only ended up hurting you a little bit because you made that the Turtle Rock dip before going back in there.
Yeah, so I was, the moment I went into Turtle Rock, I found Quake. So if I recall correctly, I went up to Hera, found Shovel, then Saving Quits, and then realized, oh wait, I need to get my magic powder, and then just didn't want to go to Paradox, only to go to Paradox later and find nothing.
Yeah, talk to me about that. The decision you have the hammer to not go over to East Death Mountain right away. It ended up working out for you fine, right? You're going to go check that anyway, but there wasn't anything really of importance over there. But that was something that really surprised us when it happened. Talk to me about that that decision.
The reason I went back to Link's house right after doing Hera was because of the hint at Uncle Cave.
That's what
Boots
we thought.
are in the Light World. So I found and magic powder and shovel at the same time. So that basically pushed me in that direction to go into Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's what we figured out as soon as you found the boots. It's like, oh right, there was this hint, right? It's Ambrosia. You got to remember about that boots hint at the beginning. It ended up working out for you. You had the boots probably 10 minutes earlier or so than Lumaga did.
I figured I was way late.
Yeah. Oh no, you were there. You were there long before he was on those boots. Unfortunately, it really just was. You both played very, very cleanly. Execution wise, it was very good. It really came down to that pod dip. If you had gone in there just a little bit earlier, it probably would have been a bit closer at the end.
The one thing I did feel was that pod dip. If I found the bow there, I would have full cleared it, so that would have been another 3 to 4 minutes on top
Right.
of that. So I was
That's
actually
true.
quite happy finding the bow really late, because that gave me the feeling. Well, thankfully I didn't go for the entire clear there.
That's true. You were able to go mode that dungeon for sure. Now, I do have a question for you, for both of you, actually. So we just today, right, for the first time, had these new glitches allowed in competitive races. They were voted on yesterday by the Racing Council, allowed in league play as of today. The only one that we really had an opportunity to see was Lumaga. You tried to do the stair extension there, didn't quite work in pod, but both of you had an opportunity to do diver down in the back of a swamp palace. Were either of you tempted to give that a shot?
No, that I have not practiced diver down, so maybe
Same here.
for the next race. But yeah, that stair extension glitch, it didn't quite work out. So I think tried and attempted are great ways to put it.
Yeah, no, it was like both of those. Definitely put in some practice on those. All of the things that were I hadn't done any of them before last night, and I practiced them, and like with a little bit of practice, they are all very doable.
Yeah, they are doable, but it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I understand if you're not super confident on them, not breaking them out for the first time in your first race, like less than 24 hours after they're voted on. So
To be fair, I would have broken out Icebreaker. I think Lumaga would do the same, right?
Yeah, I would have definitely attempted Icebreaker.
Yeah, but unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, we were not. We didn't see Ice Palace today.
Well,
I
was going to say, at the very least, I was able to lose some fantasy points.
Yeah, it was a lot of rage bunks there at the end. So I saw that it costing somebody some fantasy points for sure. I'm really interested to see how many bunks you ended up with after because I guess probably 90% of your bunks were intentional.
Yeah, pretty much.
Teknolink, I asked Lumaga the same thing. If you want to finish your thought, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to ask. So next week we have Animizer on the menu. Are you playing in Animizer week next week?
Yes.
Looking forward to that. That's something I haven't dipped my toe into it as of yet. Are you looking forward to that?
As long as it is Animizer with no damage shuffle, it's doable. The moment damage shuffle also comes into play, then well.
Yeah, there's no damage shuffle, so you can be alright with that, Techno.
Thankfully.
Yeah, and also I'm not a key sanity player nor an endless player, so well, you need 4 races, right?
Yeah, you do need 4. So if you're not playing cross keys, then you got to play at least one of the 2 next week. So next week we got Atomizer. Week number 4 we have Mystery Seed, where neither the runners nor the commentators will know what the settings are as we head into. As you head into the seed, you're going to have to try to figure them out as you go. In week number 5 there, week number 5 is Cross Keys, where all of the entrances are swapped in between the lights and the dark world. All the keys are shuffled as well. Week number 6, we have the first of our 2 cooperative weeks. Week number 6, we have a pilot and runner spoiler race where one person will be controlling Link, another teammate of theirs will have the spoiler log and we'll have to communicate with them where to go over the course of the race. And then finally, week number 7, a full co-op info share where 2 players from each team will be racing on the same seed. The 2 players of the team will be on the same voice chat and they'll be able to share information back and forth. And then the time for your team is the average time between those teams. 44 bunks for Teknolink.
Holy-
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of bunks there.
Rude. That's very good.
So can fantasy points go into the negatives?
I have no idea.
Pretty sure it could be after all those bunks, Techno.
That was a lot of fun. What out of those last modes here are you guys most excited for as we finish up our broadcast here today?
Go ahead, Lumaga, you first.
Sure. So I think I'm most excited for Spoiler Key Sanity. I played that with one of my teammates, and it's really fun to be the pilot, but it's kind of nerve-wracking because you got to make sure you don't send them into situations they may not be comfortable with.
What about you, Teknolink?
Well, this time I should have gone same. I
Yeah.
really am looking forward to piloting one of the two days.
Yeah, I get to do both. I think I'm doing a pilot run and a runner run. So that should be a pilot run and a navigator run or whatever it is. So that should be fun.
I will just relax and watch you guys and try not to curse you too much on the commentary. So I will
Well, you
try to
already
be
did
nice.
today. Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sorry.
All right. Any final thoughts from you guys?
No, GG Teknolink. I had a lot of fun. Maybe trash talking a little bit before the seed, and I had a lot of fun racing against you.
Yeah, it was great, and it was fun actually racing. I enjoyed racing 1-to-1 because of the fact, well, if you have enough runners, then someone will find that perfect route. And in the end, I think we routed, relatively well, or at least I hope I did. It was good. Thanks, Lumaga, and thanks, of course, to the commentators.
Of course, and make sure you give these fine runners a follow. We'll put their Twitch handles in the chat here. There is another race, probably just finishing up over on Speed Gaming Prime, twitch.tv/Speed Gaming. You can check that out between Yoshi's on Skis and Old Swagger Jackson. And that's it for the day in terms of that's it for week 2 in the league. We'll start up tomorrow afternoon Eastern time with some Animizer action for you.
Yeah, so Taylor, thank you so much for doing the comments with me, and a massive shout out to Tabbycat for making us look smart here on the with the tracking, and of course Mathgirl for restreaming this one.
And thanks to you as well. It was a pleasure. I will take the liberty of for myself, for Dilson Alex, Tabbycat, Math Girl, and the ALTTPR League. Thank you guys for watching today. Hope to see you back for another match in week number 3. Have a good rest of your day, everybody, and wash your hands, please.